I'm on mute. There you go. That's a really good start to things, isn't it? Let's try again. Let's try again. I can edit this out, can't I? Oh, Christ, no, we're live. Oh, well, whatever. Hope nobody noticed. There's only 5 people watching. Welcome to Fulsham Iron. Listen, this is the way it rolls, guys. You know. Thanks for joining us. This is our post-match review. And let's bring a few of the... oh, I can see he's taking the... bloody Michael, look at him. Yeah. Oh, listen, there's so many buttons I've got to press here, for goodness sake. What is wrong with you?
I tried to unmute you. Well, I did unmute you because I was pissing myself backstage. I'm not going to lie to you. So is the other gentleman that's there. Absolutely. I'm
sure it's not the first time it's happened.
Listen, I can guarantee it won't be the last. It's just the way it is, isn't it? How you doing? You good?
Yeah.
As your last hour,
my voice has recovered. My voice has recovered. This morning it was in pieces. I've got to say, my voice was in absolute bits, and I felt. In fact, I had to go for an afternoon kip. I felt so knackered. But I think it's because obviously 18 months I've not gone to a stadium. I've not gone through the rigmarole of travelling to and from. Cheers, words and pictures. Thanks, mate. You know, sort of going to the stadium, coming from the stadium, you know, the sort of like going to the bars or pubs or wherever, you know, whatever your match day ritual is, going to the pie and mash shop, Kelly's in Bow or wherever. I've given them a plug. Maybe we should talk to them about sponsorship. There's an idea. You know, and all the actual match itself, you know, sort of like, you know, roaring your team on, moaning about your team, whatever it is that you're there to do. And I just think it knocked it out of me this afternoon. I was like, I've got to have a kip. I just felt shattered.
I know we've got the other boys in the chat, and I know that they obviously went yesterday as well. And I was the only one that didn't.
Welcome, disabled team. Glad to have you aboard, mate. Appreciate it.
On Peach's stream, Jesus. Yeah, I've got to say I was incredibly jealous. You know, I haven't been to that ground for a long time for a West Ham game. Obviously, doing what I do for a living makes it difficult for me because obviously our busy days are obviously the days that the football's on. You know, Saturday, Sunday. So it's hard for me to get to. It's hard for me to justify having a season ticket when I can't get to the games. So I was very jealous. I was, you know, seeing you guys talking about the boats and everything else. I was like, bastards. But then on the other side of that, you know, it was nice because I could see the excitement, and I know the other 2 boys as we bring them in are going to say, well, 3 boys actually. There's another one in there. They're going to say the same things. You know, about being back at the stadium. It's been a long 18-month slog. So it was just nice to see. I've got to say, watching on TV, it was nice to see fans back in the stadium. It was nice to see fans enjoying themselves. And you know what? There it is. I'm the same. I'm the same.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you know, watching that performance from the boys last night, watching the Newcastle game, I've got to say, you know, I'm itching for this season, and the games aren't, unfortunately, unlike, you know, last season and the end of last season. The games were coming thick and fast, and it's not happening now. So I'm kind of like, oh, I've got to wait till Saturday. This is shit, you know. But on the other side to that, it's a great start to the season. I'm excited. As I said on the other stream earlier over on Peach, I'll be happy with 2 more signings if I'm honest, as long as we can keep the players fit. What we have, you know, this is going to be one of the best seasons I think. Has the ability to be the best season that I think any of us have seen, and possibly at the end of it lifting a trophy like Noble's last season.
That'd be the dream. That'd be the dream. Right. Well, I'll do my usual thing. I probably should have done it before the last 5 minutes are up, but there you go. Those of you that are new to the channel, thanks for coming. Please do drop a like on the video because it helps the channel out tremendously. Make sure you hit subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you are notified when we upload such tomfoolery as this. Now, there's three esteemed colleagues of ours that are waiting in the green room. Now, I'm going to bring this
Iron family.
Absolutely. Now, I'm the guy that I'm going to bring in first, and with all due respect to the two that are going to sit in the green room for a little bit. The reason I'm going to bring him in first is because we did publicise it, but people might not have picked up on this. But unlike West Ham, we've actually made a signing in the last couple of days. We did. Let's bring him in.
Signing.
He can explain his reasoning for signing on the dotted line. West Ham Online, how the devil are you?
I'm very well. I'm going to present this, my first interview since signing, in a way that a professional footballer would. I joined the club with aspirations of achieving titles. I saw that 1K mark beckoning us, and I thought, Forge Mines here in a great position. We were challenging for Europe, but I feel like a title was on the cards. Now, I initially joined on loan previously. At the start of the club, I joined on loan when we was in the Championship, and I really enjoyed my time here. However, I took a break from football. I broke my leg, it was serious. Actually, from Duke, another one of our colleagues, he did 2-foot me in training. And I took some time out, and I came back and I was scoring loads in training. People were even putting 50-1 bets on me and things like that.
Don't you mean 40-1?
Oh yeah, 40-1 bets on me, and everyone was believing in me. So I thought the best way to get these 10 goals across the line, which is the 1K subscriber mark, is by joining the Great Forge Minds. And I spoke to another mate of mine, James Fever. He has in fact put 50 quid on me to help the club achieve the 1K mark. So I'm so proud to join. I'm hopefully going to be there on the line day, running through the other deals as some of my mates join the club, I guess.
I've got nothing more to add. Duke, how about yourself?
Yeah. Listen, to be honest with you, buddy, like you said there, you came in at the start. You gave us a bit of normality to the channel, unlike the other two prats that are currently sitting in the green room. Bless them, they'll be in a minute to cause havoc.
I've just seen Milesy.
Yeah, the naughty boys sitting in the back of the class.
Yeah, look at them. Look at them.
Yeah,
I was also there for the opening of Hippo Gate, so I felt so proud to be.
He's in the green room, Dinkorp. He is in the green room. He's waiting patiently.
Like I say, you came in, you gave us a bit of youthful appeal. I think would be the phrase I want to use. But no, when you spoke about it, last week about coming over and your stuff, you speak well. So, to be honest, it was a no-brainer between myself and the other three to bring you on board and make Forge to 5. So, brand new 5-a-side team that we've got going on.
Yeah.
A consortium.
You could do it FFF.
Sorts.
Yeah, Forge 5 Fridays. Yeah. That could become a thing.
Oh.
And potentially we could get a manager in there. I'm thinking anyone who does any betting 40-1s, get them in.
You sod. I'm going to bring them both in at the same time rather than bringing one in.
They've been patient.
Let's bring them both in and welcome them to the Forge from Iron. Loving boys. We're top of the league.
Yeah, amazing. Talking about being tired, Gate. See, I had to had a half state call to Singapore in the morning, and I didn't show my face on Zoom. I was a bit like a new signing. So the dark screen, and I said no. Yeah, I've struggled all day, to be fair, and I had a bit of a sore throat, but that's largely due to the number of ice I had with my rum last night, I think. And the journey, as you know, I left really late. I got into the ground with 5 minutes to go, long 25-minute queues outside. Didn't get home till 1 at night. Because as you know, if you wait until sort of speaking to Nicky on West Ham Fans TV, we didn't leave there till about 11, and there were so many fans outside even then, really. But
Still singing.
Yeah, and then we caught the last train out of Waterloo, and it wasn't going to stop where I was going to get off, and I had to get a cab. So, yeah, challenging, but yeah, worth it. I'd rather have been there than missed it, isn't it? Yeah.
And of course, the best bit of yesterday was you finally met myself.
Yeah, yourself, the whole family, or half of it. And
Shut up, Duke.
Milesy was there as well.
Yeah, Milesy was there as well to lend a helping hand to you.
And JP and his famous blazer.
Oh, that was. I wanted to ask him where he got that made. I'm looking at it and I'm so envious. I'm looking and going, mate, I'd love to have one of those.
We'll have to get JP on soon. I'll give him a message as top.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, get him on. Yeah.
More the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. We're all one big happy family. There's no rivalry as far as I'm concerned. So, come one, come all, boys. So obviously, we're all here. Obviously, Duke couldn't make the game yesterday because obviously his. For those of you that are watching that are not familiar, just to sort of fill you in, Duke is a manager of a public house. So obviously his time is quite limited, and yesterday he was not able to make the match, which is regrettable. The rest of us were lucky enough to make it. So I'll start with the new signing. We'll start with West Ham Online. Match day experience, did it meet up to expectations? Was there any change in your routine? Talk to me about the experience as a whole, not just the match.
It was better than expected, certainly, because I was expecting a load of hassle getting in, all the COVID stuff and all of that. Really, it was just a lie. There was no COVID checks on my end. I don't know about you boys, but I had nothing of the sort. Nobody I was with did it either. Got on the train, got there. I was in the ground by about 6:50. So I just sat there for an hour and 10 minutes. I was expecting loads of weights. Yeah, it was quite simple, really. The way home was a bit of a mare, about 40 train changes. I don't know what happened there, but one of the platforms had a bit of a mare. So, yeah, and the atmosphere was the best I've ever seen, personally, for bubbles at Upton Park, at the London Stadium. So I really, really enjoyed it, and the performance matched the atmosphere, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's only possibly two matches that, in just straight off the top of my head, since we've been at the Olympic Stadium, that could come close to it, and that was the first season when we beat Spurs 1-0 when Lanzini scored. Yeah, and the game, I would probably say, and it might not have been for the whole game, but certainly in the second half, I remember very distinctly the atmosphere of the game when we beat Palace 3-0 and Andy Carroll got his scissor kick goal. I remember the atmosphere, that match being absolutely, like I say, in the second half being something quite special. But it's something that sadly we probably not recreated it often enough, and us as supporters have to take an amount of responsibility for that. I know some people would say, yeah, but at times the football's been crap and this, that and the other, which is fine. But as I say, fundamentally, we have to take a share of the blame for that. But last night, I put it in the description, last night, it was the Boleyn Ground 2.0.
Yeah, it was. It was brilliant. Honestly, I've never, in the past 2 or 3 years, I've actually become a fan of the London Stadium. That might not be a popular opinion, but it's nothing like Upton Park in terms of atmosphere. But I personally have a great seat. I really enjoy it. I just really enjoy London Stadium.
I'm getting trolled by my wife. Look at that. I am getting trolled. She's sitting right there, and I am getting trolled by my wife. On our 19th wedding anniversary, if you please, I am getting trolled by my Spurs supporting missus.
Gacy, don't worry, look.
Oh, I know. We can. We put her in a 5-minute timeout, do you think?
I can hear her giggling in the background.
Yeah, I know.
I say giggling. I meant cackling. Yeah.
You
know what the hippos do. Look up the alternative for that, and you've got
Don't make it worse, for Christ's sakes. Honestly.
No hippos could laugh.
Oh, Milesy, your same question to you. Match day experience, not just the match, but everything around the periphery. What
I don't
was,
remember
things
getting
from
there.
your perspective?
I don't remember getting there. I'm joking.
Brilliant.
No,
Thanks, Big Talk. Appreciate it.
On all serious, no. So I got in the pub about 4:30, and we was like, "What time are we gonna leave?" And it would be like 6:30 or 7. But then someone else turned up at 6:30, so we ordered another drink. And then they went, "I've only had one drink. Let's have another drink." So we ended up leaving about 7:10, which is on Stratford Old High Street, and we literally started queuing about 7:30. So we were like, "Oh, we might be in trouble here."
Yeah,
But we was only queuing. Didn't even get searched. They just let me through in the end. What's the point of queuing?
Wow.
And then I'm right next to the away fan, so I'm 2-2-1. So the queue was just horrendous. There was just a gate. I just pushed through everyone and went round to row E, and on the last row there was no one going in that ticket gate, so I just went straight through. And I was in my seat at 20 to 8.
Fair enough.
So no checks or anything.
I saw all sorts of pictures afterwards. I mean, I don't know if anyone hasn't seen it, I'm going to give it a plug. I did like a match day video diary of me from when I left home. It wasn't, an entire sort of 8-hour recording or anything like that. It's sort of like various little sort of clips through the course of my day, going to the match, being at the match, and coming away. If you haven't seen it, check it out after you've finished here. And yeah, I mean, I basically rocked up. I went to the Hammers Chat boats. I got there for about 5:30. I stayed there for about an hour. So 6:30 came, and I said to the kids, "Come on, we're gonna sort of go," because I don't know if anyone picked up on it, but it did actually say on the email that came through, when you sort of read it through, it said about making sure you had a full battery on your phone, and it did actually say about getting to the turnstiles an hour before kickoff. I don't know if that was something that resonated with anyone. So what I did is I got through the search point, the so-called ring of steel, and they literally just waved the old wand over us as we walked in and patted us down, and we went through. By that time, it was about 6:45, and then we just walked across. And funnily enough, I bumped into Steve, Steve 50, who's often on the channel. I saw him walking across, and I looked, and I said to myself, I'm sure that's Steve and his son. So rather than me shouting out, and it wasn't him, and I looked like a
Steve,
dick,
over here, mate.
I picked up my phone and I phoned him, and I could see this guy sort of like reaching into his pocket, picking up his phone, and he's gone, "Oh, hello, Gatesy," and I've gone, "Turn around," and he's turned around, and I'm sort of waving at him. So
I can make you turn your hands over without touching you.
Yeah. No, not that way, the other way. Yeah, I mean, we got to the sort of like the turnstiles, and it probably was about an hour before kickoff. By then, it probably was about 7:00, and there was a bit of a queue, and I emphasise it was a bit of a queue. Nothing too much. We got in, and that's fine. And then, of course, latterly, I saw photographs of throngs of people getting sort of having.
I went the old school way, Gatesy.
Yeah, you did the paper. You printed that out.
Yeah. I just couldn't be arsed with it.
Well, I made sure I had the sort of like the paper ticket. I made sure I had the email on me. I had a screenshot of the ticket, and I had it saved to my Google. I mean, I had everything, because I thought if one of these don't work, then I've got a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. So,
I didn't try the other one. I just had that. But yeah, sorry. The comment about the Carpenters. So do you know when I left you last night after I'd done I walked past outside, and there was a big, massive punch up outside, like in the car. Literally, they all went through the fence right next to the burger. I was like, what the fuck? And then this bloke was going.
Carpenters probably after you.
Yeah, and this bloke was going, "That's it, you've had enough." And he went, "No, actually, carry on," and moved out of the way, and they carried on.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what the fuck?
You cobbles.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do like the Carpenters, though, Happy. That's normally my piss pit stop when I walk from where I go.
I heard it's a shithole.
It's actually a really good atmosphere. It
looks shit when you walk past it, like a council estate or something. I want to go in there.
It's actually, for atmosphere, it's actually all right. It's actually a good pub.
I don't know. I'm going to be in a sports bar.
I wouldn't go there for like normal drinks, but it's
you.
for atmosphere.
Brilliant.
It is.
Brilliant.
It reminds me more of the Queens, what used to be at Upton Park.
I used to go in the Boleyn pub down there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Oh God.
Thanks, dude. Honestly, really.
It is fitting for the day.
Grow up. actually, no, don't, because that's kind of the selling point of this channel is that we're quite childish.
Right, exactly.
Don't grow up.
Sorry, gents. This just come to my attention. I forgot about this. On this day, we won the Intertoto Cup.
Really? 1999, 24th of August. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Good. It's worrying that's one of the best days in the club's history.
No, for atmosphere though, West Ham Online and watching it. Obviously I wasn't there, but watching it and stuff. That it's just the comeback. Sebastian Schemmel. If we didn't play them, he probably wouldn't have signed for us. Louis Sahar breaking through for them, but no, the Magic Man, Lampard and one shot with the goals.
Happy saying that it was her having the little set to, I'm getting. So there you go. After a couple of baby shams, she can be a little bit lively. I have been told. Jazz, same to you. Your match day experience, did it meet up to expectations, or what can you tell us?
Yeah, it's just like you said. I was running a bit late. I like to get there early and take my time. It's purely I had forgotten how vast that arena is, the whole area, the Olympic Park, and I was getting a bit annoyed. It's just
They've
such a
done a lot
long
of
walk
building,
from
haven't
the
they, in the
station.
last 18 months?
Oh, the amount you got to walk just to get around a bit and get there and go up to your seats again and down. And even the walk back to the station, I just get annoyed with that. And it was very draining because it's Monday, it's late, and we worked all day, and then it's just a really long day, but it was well worth it. A lot of people are in good spirits. You could tell a lot of people had taken half the day and they were drinking since lunchtime because they were on it. They were in a good mood.
You're just jealous, Jazz.
I know.
You're just jealous.
The conference call at 5:30, wouldn't you?
3 minutes to go, me and my son managed to neck a pint between us quickly and go up the stairs and then do the same at half time and had a nice burger. And
Gotta say, Jazz, your son's a very nice lad. Obviously, I only spoke to him briefly and all that, but no, it's nice that you've got that bond. Like, do you know what I mean? Like going to the games and stuff. It is good.
Yeah, because he originally works a lot weekends, so he doesn't get a chance. So it was going to be my daughter, but she wasn't too well, so she stayed behind. And then she'll go back to uni. So my youngest son will be the more regular one with me, really, I think. But on the train, I noticed you didn't have to wear a mask, so no one was wearing a mask on the train. So I managed to have a can of Peroni on the way there, and Underground was more or less the same again, really.
There's loads of signs up saying wearing a mask and all the rest of it. But and to be fair, I did wear a mask. We all had a mask each, but no one else really was sort of bothered. I mean, there was one guy sitting opposite me who was wearing a mask, but it was under his chin, so not sure that's doing an awful lot.
Yeah, no, atmosphere was good, and literally, because these are new seats for me, I've moved 8-9 rows ahead. But I met one of the old guys I used to sit next to, so it's good to catching up with some old faces. And everyone's in good spirits, and really a lot of songs going on around, and everyone's standing up, clapping, and it's like a cup final atmosphere at the end. Yeah, everyone's really happy.
But Jazz, that's where we've got to take credit as well, because like I said, that's probably the earliest I've ever got to my seat. To be honest, 20 minutes before kickoff, and the place was just bouncing.
Yeah.
Like, and I just love. It was just. I know we had it last week with Newcastle, but where I was so close to the away, obviously we was at the other end. There's a couple of videos what I put on YouTube. It was just the abuse we were giving them and stuff like that. I just missed that more than anything else as well. And the proper away day thing, like they were going champions of England, you never win that, blah blah blah. It's like, how many fucking times can you say that, you prick?
Yeah. I think it was a second goal where I saw where you sit. You're probably giving him pelters for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But one actually looked like John Joe Shelby, so we started singing the Harry Potter chant to him as well, the poor sod.
I noticed some of our players kept running towards the Leicester end when we scored. I think Benrahma ended up there, and I don't know if that's just by accident, but yeah.
Well, no, that's what I said. That did I say that on my? What did I say?
We
I
did
said
score
that on
3
Jake's
goals that end, though, didn't we?
Yeah. But that's unusual. Normally in the second half we're shooting the other way. It was like a flipping treat for me.
Yeah.
I can't complain. But no, the place was bouncing. That first bubbles again was loud.
Schmeichel was getting pelters, wasn't he, for the whole game?
Was,
yeah.
I think that was
Did you hear him
comments
started singing
in the Euros, wasn't it?
Did you hear him started singing "Are You Joe Hart in disguise"?
Oh no, I didn't hear that one. Not from where I was at. Just seeing this one here, Tony said about 200 pies for a 60,000 stadium. I think what it is, Tony, is I think Gold, Sullivan and Brady have heard enough about pie for the last couple of weeks. So I think they've banned any sort of pie related thing. I can't think why.
They didn't have any at half time, but the lady said, "Oh, the next batch are coming in 10 minutes." That's what she said. Yeah.
It's not like they didn't know, you know what I mean? It's just typical. What can you do? But,
they had one that was a vegan, mushroom and tomato. I would like to taste that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Can't be having that. Right, let's get the screen shared. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was.
What's everyone got for dinner? Talking of food, I'm joking.
Don't.
Something wrong with you, boy. I tell you.
I did have a bit of pie, man.
Chicken and chips.
Yeah, you didn't tell me, Alfie. Where did you get? Was that homemade, or did you go to a shop, or?
Oh no, it was just at a shop that literally just stuck it in the microwave.
What was it? Was it Manzi's? Was it Maureen's? Was it Kelly's? What are we talking?
I don't know. I didn't even do it. I just saw it downstairs.
Oh, right. When you say pie and mash, you're talking pie, mash and liquor, are we?
No, I hate liquor.
Oh, Alfie.
We should have asked this. We should have asked this in the disclaimer before we fucking signed you up.
Right. I think we're going to have to check that contract and see if there's a release clause.
Get out,
That's pie, mash and liquor.
Looks like I'm going back on London's a peach.
In all fairness, Alf, in all fairness, mate, I don't either, so shush, don't worry about it.
You kept that quiet.
It is bad. It is so bad. It doesn't even taste of anything.
It's pretty bland, isn't it? A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh my
word. Let's be honest. Everyone here knows it. Stop hiding it. It's terrible.
Gatesy, you might need to remove the banner. All we can see is Jazz's eyes.
Hang on a minute. Hang on.
That's because he's hiding down here.
One.
There we go.
Now see him now. There you go. Okay, so that was the starting lineup.
That's not seeing you with a timer above your head, though. That's fine.
Fair enough. Or I could always do this and swap it around. So now
that's
it's
fine.
you that's that's all right. I'm not that mean.
What you could do is put West Ham online up there, considering it.
No one noticed the difference, I suppose. But you know, he's the new signing. I want to make him feel part of the family early doors. So this was the starting lineup, gents.
Yeah.
So Fabianski in goal. Back four of Stufal, Dawson, Ogbonna, and Cresswell. I'm just going to sort of touch on Dawson because obviously we spoke about Dawson as possibly being someone.
Ask him first.
Yeah. But no, I mean, obviously, because he was the guy that a lot of people looked at and thought, is this possibly, someone that maybe he wants to drop out because his performance at Newcastle wasn't the best. He's up against a quick Jamie Vardy. I thought he acquitted himself very, very well yesterday, just for the record. Then in front of the back four was Thomas Soucek, Declan Rice, the captain. We then had Jared Bowen on the right. It's got Pablo Fornal central and Saeed Benrahma on the left. Those two seem to sort of swap positions at various points during the game.
I was going to say in the first half, Gatesy, until Leicester got their red card, it was almost seemed like Pablo Fornals was the furthest forward player a lot of the time. And it seemed like Bowen and Antonio were close to him. And then Benrahma was back a few yards. I don't know what that sort of thing was, but it looked like a FIFA 4-2-4 at times.
Yeah. And then, of course, the guy that would go on to break the record and extend it further, Michail Antonio, who I said on an earlier stream, I wish he was 5 years younger and with more robust hamstrings, because I seriously think he could, if that were the case, he could go on and get triple figures as far as Premier League's concerned. So, and this for a guy it used to be a right back. There you go. But chaps, I mean that was probably as strong a lineup. Like I say, Dawson was probably the debatable one, but that's probably as strong a lineup as we could have put out. Would you agree, Duke?
Yeah.
Or the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
First things first. Stop dicking around with the formations, because I'm looking at that wondering why Antonio was in goal when we were playing a back three. Right, you've absolutely screwed me there, because the goalkeeper's normally at the bottom, and I wondered what was going on. Right, so stop dicking around with the formations and just use your old app that you had, and we can be fine. With regards to that, I didn't expect any changes. Everyone was cracking on, and I thought maybe he might swap Dawson out. Cyber, I'm literally 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk from Darren Valley Hospital, mate. Literally down the road. So yeah, about 5-10 minute walk. I'll be honest. I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we didn't change. We spoke in the preview about Areola possibly coming in as well for Fabianski, and like I said, I'm glad we didn't. There seems to be a unity. There seems to be a massive camaraderie between these players, and they look solid. And I just hope we can keep them fit as long as we can. According to News Now have just released something on where is it? West Ham Zone have said that it looks like we're going to sign Zuma, and he could be in contention to face Palace.
Yeah, what I will say is he should be starting against Palace if we sign him ahead of Dawson. I don't know how you'll feel, but
listen, I said this over on Peaches, over on West Ham Random earlier. At the end of the day, we got to be looking to bring players in that are going to replace what we've got and drop them down to the bench. We can't be looking to bring in just backup style players. So for me, if we do sign Zuma, then unfortunately, yes, Dawson does have to drop out. Again, that's not a bad thing to have the extra kind of centre back there, which we need one. Let's not mess around, and it probably gives Dawson a well-earned break, because let's be honest, he played a hell of a lot of games, significantly more games than we expected him to at the end of the season. So for me, I was pleased not to see a change side. I thought that was the right side. I know, in hindsight, we can say, yeah, he picked the right team. But before the game, I was happy, and I thought that was the right team to go on and beat them. And as I said in the preview show, nearly 15,000 people did their predictor, and 70% of that went for Leicester. So we stuck two fingers up at that lot, didn't we?
yeah.
Yeah. West Ham Online, same to you. Was that the lineup? Well, actually, I probably already know the answer to the question, but for the benefit of the people watching at home, is that the team you'd have gone with, or?
It is. Apart from I did tweet out before the game that I felt like, because of Vardy's pace and Daka's pace, I would have preferred Diop to play over Dawson, just because Dawson was quite poor against Newcastle. So that would have been what I would have done, but I wasn't too bothered either way. Goalkeeper, I'm not going to lie, I'm not sure if Fabianski is a better keeper than Areola is nowadays. But once again, I think like Duke, I'm not too bothered who's in goal. And the defenders, Dawson and Diop are a similar quality, if that makes sense. They both have attributes that the other doesn't have, and we have to upgrade on both of them, which is what we're doing with Zuma.
Yeah. I mean, saying about Fabianski, I mean, to be honest, he didn't really have an awful lot to do, because the guys in front of him protected him so well. I mean, the goal that Leicester scored, was there anything he could have done about that?
It was a lot of luck. It was lucky. A lot of luck.
Rebound, hit the defender, rebound Tielemans. But it was frustrating to see that as soon as they come forward with their first attack since going down to 10 men, they just find a way to... We we concede a lot of stupid goals that I can't blame anyone for, but they just seem to happen. I don't know how to describe it. There was one at Newcastle as well, where it just goes in and you're like, well, the defenders did their job. It just sort of deflects it. I don't get what happened. That goal that Leicester got yesterday was ridiculous.
Yeah. How about yourself, Andy? Again, your thoughts on the starting 11? Is that more or less what you'd have gone with, or?
I think if Vestergaard didn't get ruled out, I think we may have gone with a different system, because I think from what we found out, Leicester was probably thinking that we were going to match them up as well and go with a back three with Vestergaard in there. So that was the only thing. But as soon as I found out Vestergaard wasn't playing, I think that sort of got released yesterday morning. That's when I was, I would have liked to have seen Diop in, the same as what West Ham Online said, because I was worried about the pace. But the one thing I will say is, I know Moyes is that differing Dave on substitutes as well, but the team's stamina, because they've pretty much played 100. I know they're professional athletes, but that's most of them 180 minutes in just over a week, so they've played quite a bit. So yeah, no, that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah. Finally, you, Jazz, that pretty much the lineup you'd have gone with?
No, I think Miles, you agree. We saw some things in the Newcastle game, especially the first half, that we need to improve on, really, because I think 7 of the players are 9 out of 10 every game. The only concerns, and I saw a bit of that yesterday, was Fabianski again. He doesn't come off the touchline enough for me. His goal kicking is atrocious. He just doesn't want to kick the ball. He wastes time, and when he kicks it, then he puts the pressure back on the defenders, because he just kicks it to the side. When he tries to kick it properly, it doesn't even reach the halfway line. And I think he nearly got caught out in the second half, and nearly injured himself, if you remember. I would have put the other guy in. And also, me, Marzi, remember talking about Antonio in both Newcastle and this game in the first half, just wasn't pressing enough for me. Often you found him on the halfway line when we were attacking, and he's just having an amazing game in the second half at the moment, really. So I think it's just what it is with Antonio. And listen, if he scores 1 or 2 goals every game, then no one can complain. But I just notice sometimes he just doesn't press the defence enough, really. And often you see him slowly walking around the halfway line when you want him up front, really. Dawson was my worry. I would have changed Dawson as well. I would have brought in Jupe, but I don't know. I just felt Leicester City didn't have the confidence. I felt they were scared of us from the beginning. We battered them twice last season. I didn't see any creativity from Barnes or Maddison. Maybe they're not fit. Vardy, I feel, due to his age, 33, 34, he's slowly dwindling now, I think.
Yeah,
so those are
regressing.
those are the few things I noticed. I think a lot of teams are very afraid of facing West Ham, and we're going to see more and more of that, I think, going forward. We're very powerful, fast, in your face. And even Fornals, that's how he kind of nearly got injured sending off. He was in their faces. He was harassing them, harrying them. They didn't like it. And obviously that he tried to put a leg on him, didn't he? But we're a very hard team to face, I think. And perhaps that was the issue with Leicester. Just didn't turn up, mate.
Yeah. And if we can just go on to the next slide, please, Milesy, just a sort of little bit of balance. That was the Leicester lineup, which from memory, I think was exactly what I put on the pre-match 11, and the same formation. Duke, was no surprises there, was there, for what we was facing?
No, is it Chris, the Leicester fan? He had some concerns with a couple of players there, and Perez was obviously one of them, and I think it was Amate that he was concerned about.
He is
to be fair, mate,
just about past water.
But that is so injury. I thought had an absolute fucking
shocking
injury. And that wasn't just including the pass back. I don't know what it was. I don't think he's ever come up against someone as physical as Antonio was yesterday. Antonio bullied both of those centre backs last night, like beyond belief.
Duke, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the first game when we beat them at the King
Yeah, they
Power,
were both
he had
playing.
COVID, and I don't think he played in the reverse fixture either. So
I
that's
think
his first time
Soyuncu.
playing.
I
I thought
noticed one
Soyuncu was playing
thing.
at the King Power.
Yeah,
I seem to remember him playing
I
and
thought he
getting
had
off.
COVID.
Can't remember.
But again, Antonio yesterday was a completely different player compared to what I've seen. Like I get that a couple of misses, you know, and there'll be people making comments about the fact that, you know what, he misses more than he scores. And last night
Yeah.
he was unplayable. For me, he was unplayable. He bullied, he chased, he harassed. And the back four of Leicester didn't have a clue on how to contain him. They really didn't. He was solid. I mean, I was very surprised at how quiet the other three up front were. You know, Maddison, Barnes, and Vardy. Even in the first half, when they had 11 players, they weren't in the game. They weren't in the game, and I thought Maddison would have been, you know, something different. He's obviously Arsenal allegedly looking at him. And I thought he would have played more, you know, would have been involved more. Vardy is Vardy and expected so much more from him. And Harvey Barnes, again, another player that everyone's been absolutely raving about. And they were practically non-existent. Like I say, even before the sending off, the sending off was, you know, we'll probably cover that as we go on, but the sending off was definitely was the correct decision. It was good to see the referee use the screen and VAR. That was nice to see, I've got to say. Harry missed it in the first place, though, was beyond me. But listen, we didn't let that Leicester side play.
I don't think there's many wingers that are going to get the best out of Kufal. He was awesome. I think that's one of the reasons as well. He nullified any runs that Barnes or Maddison were trying to make down that wing. Kufal is one hell of an opponent for anyone.
He was crossing the ball at will, wasn't he? I mean, he was ridiculous.
I just had a look, gents. Soyuncu didn't play in any of the fixtures last year.
Oh.
Amati
Fair
did
enough.
play.
Amati and Fofana were in both of them.
Amati was shocking. I remember in the 3-0, he was unbelievably bad. And yesterday, to be fair, I did feel like he actually was better than Soyuncu, who literally played like a dead duckling. I don't know what they're doing, trying to pass it out the back with 10 men. I mean,
that has to come from the manager, though, doesn't it? West Ham Online. That has to be something because Brendan Rodgers is very much a manager that will try and get his teams to play out from the back. He's done that all his career, and it's very commendable. But there's times when you just stick it in at row Z, isn't there?
Yeah, I felt like that's what they should have been doing. And the one time they sort of got the ball up the pitch, they scored. And I quickly want to make a shout out because I was arguing with a lot of Leicester fans on Twitter before the game, who were telling me that Ndidi is better than Rice. Now, I don't want to hear about the Nigerian Tom Cleverley ever again. The man was schooled by Mark Noble last season, and now he's been schooled by Rice twice. So I feel like they should start comparing him to players such as Tom Cleverley, Dan Gosling, and people like that.
If Rice goes the guy at Brighton is the one to get in, isn't it? Basuma.
Yeah, Basuma's quality.
He's the one.
Yeah, no, he's with regards to the team. No, the one player who I thought started off last season for Leicester very well and finished it was Thomas, the fullback. But Bowen was ripping him to shreds. I was very surprised. But no, it's Pereira. He had a very off game as well. He didn't get near Ben Rama at all. And Creswell was just bombing past him as well. I don't know about you guys if you thought that as well.
He doesn't look the same player since he's come back from his injury. I don't know about you, Andy, but I feel like he just doesn't seem as effective to me, Pereira. Still a good fullback, but I used to think that he was the most complete right back in the league about 2 seasons ago.
I'd probably say that tag could now be attributed to our chap.
Yeah.
See, this is where we're on a high, and this is what worries me.
What, the substitutes bench?
Yeah.
Nothing there, is there?
Yeah.
It's about as deep as our squad's about as deep as a puddle. Our first 11 is great, but when you start
And their
getting
bench
into.
is not. Look at their bench. That's the thing. I feel like our starting 11 is similar to quality to Leicester's, but they've got Patson Daka on the bench, who is a brilliant forward. Samari, who's a brilliant midfielder. Pratt was 20 million. That Dewsbury Hall was brilliant at Luton, and I mean Ian Atcher. Don't even mention him. I don't know why he didn't play.
Yeah, we've got a Leicester fan in the live chat. Terry, glad to have you aboard, mate. Please hit the subscribe button. Glad to have you aboard. Listen, Leicester, absolutely quality team, and you know, I've got an awful lot of respect for them. And in actual fact, as I speak, look who's just arrived to the party. A fellow Leicester fan for you, Terry. Chris, how are you, sir?
Let's stop sharing a set. We can see him properly.
Don't ask. Let me get rid of that.
Don't ask.
Talk to us. What happened?
We were shit.
Fair enough. Thanks for coming.
Chris, Perez, can I know?
Did you say that on Jake's stream, or was you a little bit more?
No, it was my stream, and
it was. Sorry, do apologise.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And to be honest with you, he's 14. He knows more swear words than I do.
That is true. This is what the internet has done.
Fair comment, Chris. Chris, were you surprised just how poor Leicester were last night?
Yes. No. Well, yes and no.
I just don't think they got out of the blocks.
No, Leicester have got that performance in them every season. You know, last season, West Ham in the first game, you beat us 3-0. Fulham at the start of the season beat us. At the other end of the table, Newcastle beat us. Hello,
they
Terry.
smashed you, didn't they? Newcastle.
You're stalking me, Terry. You're stalking me. Yeah, Newcastle did it to us. We've got that performance in us. Hopefully, we've just got it out of our system early this season.
Bournemouth as well.
Yeah, no, that was the season before.
Yeah,
I'll leave him alone, West Ham Online.
I remember watching the Bournemouth game.
He's throwing hand grenades. That's what he's doing.
Down, mate. That's why.
You're top of the league, but it's game 2. You're top of the league. Bring your DVD out.
Yeah.
Season highlights.
The top.
And then get back
The
to
top like
normality.
Southampton, wasn't it? Southampton, wasn't it? A first time ever when they released the top.
No, but the reason why I remembered the Bournemouth one was because I remember watching it, and we actually that was when we were still in a bit of a relegation worry, and you lost, and I was like, Jamie Vardy, you prat, what are you doing? And you let Solanke run all over you, which was the most frustrating part for me.
Just this one here from Clayton, though, Chris. Were Leicester really that poor, or were we that good? And I appreciate you had a man sent off, but...
Yeah, but this is the point, isn't it? Were we poor because we were really, really poor, or were we poor because you didn't let us be good? You know, and
I don't think we let you play, and I think that was part of the key to it.
I watched a couple of West Ham shows last night, and just crying to my soup. And you said, you know, you out-Leicestered Leicester. You were there. You harried us. You were first for every ball. Fucking Antonio, he could get a job in WWE, couldn't he? I mean, that guy, you know, he brushing off Indeedy like he was a fly, swatted him out the way.
Oh, the Nigerian Tom Cleverley.
You know, we were bad. There's no, but to be honest with you. Leicester on the Leicester that beat Man City 5-2 last season, you know, should be able. No disrespect, but we should be beating teams like you would say the same about us when you're on form, and we didn't. We just didn't turn up. But that's taking nothing away from West Ham. You were the better team. You deserved it. You outplayed us. Well done, guys. And enjoy the fact that you're at the top. Just watch the blood coming out your nose.
Chris, was you surprised with the starting lineup with Daka not being included, or someone like that, or was you not?
Apart from Amati, you're probably looking at what will be our starting lineup for most of the season.
Right, okay.
Vestergaard in there.
So what?
Vestergaard in there.
Yes, definitely. And Fafana, obviously, come January when he's hopefully fit again.
Just
got
sorry
injured.
sorry to interrupt. Oh, he's gone. I was just going to say goodbye. He's cleared off anyway. West Ham Online had to go, but thanks for your time, West Ham Online. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, that literally is probably our start. I mean, Perez, God knows about Perez. We'll come on to the red card, I'm sure, before. But yeah, I mean, Clayton says there, we were missing key players in defence. Yes, we were. And it's unfortunate that Vestergaard, who was brought in to cover an injury, got injured himself, although he'll be back. Evans is out. But you can't, Soyuncu playing that, giving you an assist almost for that second goal. What the hell? It was one of those nights. Just one of those nights when if it could go wrong, it went wrong.
I think we were pressing just at the right time. I think Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, I'm not their biggest fans, but they sort of summed it up correctly at the end. I sort of do what Jazz does. I watch a bit of Sky afterwards because obviously where you're at the game, and they just said that they were letting you put. I think Soyuncu and Amati had more touches than anyone on the pitch, but we were letting you. As soon as you tried to pull it in midfield, I think it was the first goal when we nicked it. It's just getting that high press right, and like you said, we're like a pack of wolves. We just know when to press, and I think that sort of took you by surprise as well. I think.
But it shouldn't have taken us by surprise because you beat us twice last season. We shouldn't. And I mean, we're 12th now. We've lost it. We've won one, lost one. Let's sack Rodgers. Let's get somebody in. If I was an Arsenal fan now, I'd be hanging myself from the lights. But
well, they said they did say that about Arsenal. They did say that about Arsenal. If they don't score this weekend, their goals of the season will be training videos. Goal of the month, sorry.
Yeah, I saw that. That made me tickle. Like I say, that is Leicester. That I say Leicester have got that in them, and but I say, credit to you guys. You deserved it. Well done.
Yeah,
I think looking at the stats as well, wasn't it? I had a look. So we had 19 shots, and you
had back on screen. Hang on.
Yeah.
No.
I was really surprised.
Don't.
Sorry, Chris. Sorry, it's got to be done. Nothing personal.
That really did surprise me.
Yeah, bastards, a lot of you.
Yeah, but we're friendly bastards.
The 10 corners to our 0. That kind of sums it up. I mean, we had 8. I think after about 20 minutes, we'd got 80% possession, but we were doing sod all with it. It's no good having possession, and I know Brendan likes to play out from the back, and, those of us of a certain age will remember Liverpool in the 90s, and, they would just wait, they'd play it about, 30, 40 passes until they'd got the right chance to burst through, but we just never burst through. We were just passing it about, and you were quite happy to let us do that. And like you say, winning the ball off us, indeed, one of the worst games I've seen him have. Well, if I say to you, I'm looking on the BBC website here, and your worst player got a higher rating than our best player.
Wow.
When we look at the guy that does my ratings for my website, which is leicestertillidie.com, by the way, just a shameless plug
Good
there.
Yeah, do it.
Definitely.
Not one of our players got over 5.
Wow.
Crumbs. That really is quite damning.
And
not even Kasper Schmeichel.
No, he only got a 5, but he was man of the match. And I think when you say your goalkeeper's man of the match, I don't think you need to say any more.
I think 5's a bit harsh. I've got to say, I thought he was about a 7.
Well, yeah, 5, 6, 7, but he made 2 really, really good saves, and he's only, I'm not sorry, Gordon Banks couldn't have done any better with that bloody defence in front of him,
See this. Sorry, Chris, I'm not trying to hit you when you're down, but I
would to you, so go for it, mate.
No, it's the crosses as well. Look, 3 crosses in the whole game.
We never got that far up. Even our bloody goal was a scramble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although we did beat you on short
saw that
passes.
earlier and
Yeah,
thought, wow.
we beat you on something. Short passes. Get in.
But no, Chris. On a serious note, like I was surprised that I said 3-1, but I thought it would be one on set pieces and stuff like that. But like we said, I know it's like the banter, but you like I said, we would love your owners. We've got a lot of respect for you, and obviously you've come on. I think we would obviously invite you on, even if you beat us. And like I said, when we're not playing, I wish you the best of luck as well, because
you're saying back to you. Yeah.
Just to
it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. So obviously 26 minutes in, boys. Pablo Fornals gets the opener. Jazz, talk us through what happened, how you saw the goal play out in front of your eyes.
Yeah, what I remember is Benrahma picking the ball up in our own half, and he quickly gave it to Fornals, and Fornals gave it back to Benrahma, went down the wing, and he carefully picked him out, which was what we were doing all night. We weren't just crossing it and hoping someone's getting in the end of it. We were actually clearly pinpointing where the ball's going to go. And Fornals, what a finish. Something he didn't quite have in his game last season, really. So Fornals started that move and finished it. And we were like on the front foot in the whole game, and our passing and finishing has improved so much from last season. And like you said, we've got 8 goals in 2 games. But even like last season, as West Ham fans, we know we could have scored a lot more than we did, and perhaps gone a place 1 or 2 up from where we finished, really. So, like same with Antonio, he scores 2-3 every game, but we all keep thinking, God, you could have got even more. So we are creating so much, really. So yeah, that's what I remember about it. So Fornals started the move, found Benrahma, and Benrahma beautifully provided a really nice assist. And Fornals didn't think nothing of it, just finding the corner, really. So really, really good finish, yeah.
Yeah. Same to you, Milesy, because obviously you was in the stadium as well.
Gatesy?
Yeah, sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Can I just come back to the post you just put up a couple of seconds ago?
I saw you shaking your head.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think I've given West Ham a lot of credit, and if you go back onto my show that I've just done with Jake from his West Ham channel, you know, I think, bantering aside, I've said you deserved it. We did, we didn't turn up, but you know, if the other side doesn't turn up, you're going to win. I don't care, you know. It's but. Yeah, you were better than us, whether we had 10 or 11 on, and I've said you deserve it. You were the better team on the whole. I don't think I've not given you credit. I think I've been, you know, you deserved it. You definitely deserve it, and you're top of the league. Enjoy it, because I bloody would be, you know. Well done, guys.
And to be fair to Eamon, I think sometimes it can be quite difficult, because obviously he's writing it there, and he maybe can't portray his emotions by writing it down. It's like I sometimes think that a better way of me communicating is leaving a voice note on WhatsApp rather than me typing it, because then people can sort of hear my tone of voice and work out, you know, where I stand from an emotional standpoint. So in fairness to Eamon, I think that maybe, like I say, it might have come across wrong. I don't know what Eamon's thinking, but you know, you've cleared that one up.
Been aimed at you, Chris. It could have been aimed at myself, because I was the one that did turn around and say.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say
didn't turn up, but yeah, I mean,
I like West Ham. I like West Ham.
Yeah,
the fans can be a little bit iffy, but you know, I like West Ham.
I don't know, because you was on Jake's show, Chris. That's what I said. I sit right next to the fans, and to be fair, even when. At some point, even when you were playing so bad, I've got to give it to your fans as well. You were singing for most of it, and that's what away days is about as well. Even if your team's not playing well, as long as the players know that your fans are there behind you, you can't really complain.
We got a good away fans. The only problem was, of course, playing away, we didn't have any clappers.
I was so gutted when I didn't hear any of them, Chris. I was so gutted.
Are you not allowed to bring them into away stadiums?
Well, I would have taken mine. I can get mine out if you want. You know, I've got.
No, you go on just for me, Chris. Go on just.
You're
for me.
You're going through a tunnel. We could lose you any minute.
but no, like I said on Sky as well. Like, it was a great build up for the first goal, but they sort of did say indeed he maybe could have tracked Fornals, but you can't really take Fornals' determination away either. So it's a bit it's a bit of both as well. But I was very impressed
It
with
was a
that
great
finish.
goal. I was watching the highlights back before I did the 2 shows, and I know I'm a sucker for punishment, but it was a great team goal. And yes, you could say we could have done better, but then you didn't let us do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So we'll come to the talking point of the first half. Obviously, there was the goal. I'm going to start with Chris because obviously his team was the recipient in the 40th minute of a red card, which wasn't initially given by the on-field official. Didn't even stop play. Wasn't even a free kick initially. However, obviously the VAR was in Michael Oliver's ear. I don't know who the video official was, but Michael Oliver was the on-field official, wasn't he?
Dave England.
Dave England was the VAR.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that, Milesy. He's obviously put Michael Oliver in the picture that something untoward had occurred, and he's gone and had a look at the touchline monitor. Now, for me, I don't know about you guys, but virtually every time I've seen a referee trotting over to the pitch side monitor to have a look at something where there's been a naughty challenge involved, I pretty much know what's happening next. I pretty much know there's a red card produced. I mean, we saw it with Balbuena, didn't we, at the back end of last season against Everton? Soon as he went across to the touchside monitor, I'm like, he's walking here. But when you saw it, obviously the initial, I'm not talking the replay, Chris. When you saw it in real time on your telly in front of you, did you think that there was anything amiss at that point, or?
No, because you can't. The camera's quite a way away. Sorry, I'm distracted. Somebody's playing with the balls there.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it was that sort of channel, mate. Please put them down.
Those balls. Got it.
When, in all seriousness, when I first saw it, I didn't think it was. But when they were showing the replays, yes, I always look at a red card, and the way I judge it is, if it was the other way round, would I be screaming for the red card?
Fair.
And on that challenge, yes, I would. I go back to when we beat Southampton 9-0 away, not because this was a great score, but we had a similar tackle on Perez, funnily enough, by Bertrand. The referee didn't stop the game. The game went on. He played it on. We scored. And then he went back and sent Bertrand off for a similar sort of tackle. Now, I don't think there was any intent there because hopefully you would hope that players don't go out with the intention of hurting players. And at that point in the game, it wasn't like we were too overly frustrated. But looking back on it, and like you say, even Brendan Rodgers said, once the referee's walking over to the monitor, there's only one outcome. But yet, Perez deserved to go. He could have broken your guy's leg. He really could. Yeah. So he did deserve to go. And that's the one good thing that has come out of last night is the fact that we won't have Perez now for 3 games. Yes.
Yeah, you're not a fan. Jazz, same to you again. You was in the stadium when you saw it in real time, not when you obviously saw it on the monitors during the match as I saw it. Did you look at it immediately and think that's a red?
No, in real life, no. I think the only person that was screaming for it was Creswell, if you remember. He was the nearest other West Ham player to Fornells. Everyone else had missed it, and Creswell was going mad. He was trying to get the referee's attention. Referee wasn't having any of it. No one in the crowd seemed to go up or say anything either. And thankfully, this is what VAR should really work like, really. And it worked well for us anyway. It worked quite well. And when you saw it in slow motion, then it doesn't look too clever. There are a couple other points where, was it a free kick on him in the first place when Creswell kind of collided into him and then he lost his sort of footing. But then he looks up, so he knows what's going on. And then, it is what it is, isn't it, really? So thankfully, nothing you got up for now again. But for me, I think no one had any choice, I think. But
Jazz, even like you said, even if it was a foul during the build-up, there was an incident in the Aston Villa Newcastle game where the goal was chalked off, the penalty, for Newcastle.
Yeah.
It was ruled out for offside, but Martinez still got the card for the dangerous tackle. So I think even if it was the other way around, I still think he would have gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, same question to you, Milesy. You was in the stadium. You're behind the goal, as I remember, aren't you? You'd have been
the other end.
the other end. But again, from your angle, real time, before you saw the replay, did you think something was amiss?
No, I thought Fornals was play acting. If you look where I was looking, it looked like Perez really, because I'm facing the other way, so obviously Perez is going that way, and I'm not saying, it's probably going to say like the Spanish are known for play acting. Do you know what? I'm not saying Fornals is one of them, but I honestly thought originally that he did, and then as soon as it said checking red card and Michael Oliver walked over, I knew it was being sent off. You never really see them overturn penalties. Really, sometimes the ref overturns it, but as soon as Michael Oliver went over, I knew it was a red.
Yeah. Duke, again, you was at the Bull. Did you look at that during real time and think that's a red card, or was it only when you saw the replay that you realised exactly the severity of the challenge?
Well, to be honest with you, mate, I was watching the game with two other guys in the pub, and I winced in real time. Now, we obviously got the benefit of the replay before you guys did in the stadium, because Sky went straight to it. So you obviously had to wait until they showed it on the big screen. And they
didn't show it until after he brandished the red card, I should point out.
So we got the benefit quite early in the tackle, like in the whole malark that was going on. But I actually winced because I thought it was a bad challenge. I didn't realise what he'd done until the replay. But I winced because I just thought maybe they'd had a clash of legs, he'd rolled his ankle, whatever. And I was like, oh. But then as you go back, and I know what the guys have been saying about the stumble and everything else, and what Chris said there about if it had been against Leicester, he would have been screaming for the sending off. And I made this point to the guys I was sitting with. Now he reaches his leg out, Gatesy, to stamp down on Fornals' leg. If you watch the replay, I'm not saying he's doing it to cause him an injury. I'm not saying he's doing it maliciously. What I'm saying is he felt he's got fouled, like you said, and he's lashed out. Now, he stepped away from where the ball was. His foot was at least 12, at least a foot and a half, maybe 2 foot away from where the ball was. The ball's going off that way, and he stamps down over here, and he does stamp down on his leg, which for me shows intent with regards to actually going to do it. Now, I'm not saying it was malicious. He probably felt that he got fouled, so I'm sticking my foot in. Don't think he intentionally went out to injure the guy. But when you, when you watch it back in slow-mo, he actually reaches his foot away from the ball and towards Fornals rather than going towards the ball, which shows that there was an intent to do what he did. So it was a red card all day long. I don't know why Kasper Schmeichel felt the need to do what he did. I'm kind of hoping in hindsight, Kasper saw the replay on the big screen, or even saw the game, saw the tackle at half time in the changing room, and maybe had a second thought and realised that he was being a massive dick, a total and utter dick, but with the way he reacted. Yeah. Now, that's only because I saw the challenge as I saw the challenge. He's obviously not seen the challenge in slow-mo like we did. So I'm kind of hoping that if he has seen it, then he realises the severity of obviously what happened.
I disagree with that, Duke, for Kasper Schmeichel, because if that was Declan Rice and Declan Rice was just like, all right then, I think you should be sent off, I'd want my captain trying to fight for him to stay on the pitch.
No, but
I was going to say exactly the same.
If he'd seen the challenge,
I'm talking about
Yeah, but the guys on the pitch he's gonna do. You know, if your captain didn't do that to one of your players, then he doesn't deserve to be a captain. You know.
But again, I kind of hope he goes back and looks at it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he would. I think he would.
We know the refs are never going to change their minds, but so why even bother going up anyway? But players do, and it's his job as his captain to go and see what's going on. The captain, under the rules, the captain is allowed to go up and question the referee. Remember, years ago, if you were Man United, they used to have all 11 players around. Yeah, but now the captain goes up, and the captain has the right to go up and say, what the hell's going on? What have you done? Why have you given it? Blah, blah, blah. And like I say, I'm going from the point of view that, yes, he should have been sent off. But I'm seeing it on 4 or 5 different camera angles. He's seen it the same as somebody in the crowd. And he's just doing his job, which is going up and saying, what the hell are you doing? Why are you sending him off? And, of course, he's not going to go, excuse me, sir. Do you mind if I just ask you this question? He's going to go up. What the fuck's going on? And some of the comments that are coming in, guys, it's a bit of banter, it's a bit of fun, but it's a bit of banter. Only 2 games in now. I will come back to some of these comments later in the season, possibly. And indeed, he had an awful game. Game.
It's a day of banter.
It's a danger. That is the danger. When you boo an opposing player when they come on, you know they're going to score against you. But I mean, so many of our players didn't turn up. So many of our players had bad games. That doesn't make them bad players. And this is what I was trying to say to our fans. You know, we suddenly haven't got a bad game, a team. We lost a game 4-1. We beat Man City 5-2 last season.
Yeah.
They went on to win the league. Man City have only got 3 points, the same as us this season. You know, it is one game. Players don't suddenly become, you know, Antonio's not suddenly turned into Pele because he had scored a couple of goals, but he's a good player. And that's what people have got to remember. Calm down and just, you know, look at it in the reality of what it is.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. I think this is probably the worst day because this is like the hype you probably know about it. Just pretend that this game was on a Saturday. You're still on that hype on Sunday. Monday, you go into work, give a banter, and then Tuesday it comes. Yeah, it goes down. But yeah, no, I know, like you said. But I said earlier, I agree that you've. Thanks for coming on and giving your side on it. Anyway,
you had a really good. We were like I say, we were awful. You were brilliant, and you deserve to be, 6 points at the start of the season. Well done, lads.
But it's all banter.
So we go in 1-0 at half time, guys. So then we fast forward to the 56 minutes, and Mr. 40-1, Mr. Saeed Benrahma, Duke. You saw the game. You saw the match on the telly. Talk me through the Benrahma goal. What was your view?
You're a bastard. He's got to score 11 anyway. He's got to score 11. Just put that out there. Just whisper it. Don't say it too loudly. No. I have no idea what made Soyuncu turn into Carlton Cole with his pass back. I've got to say.
That's harsh. That's harsh. Chris, there's no
even Carlton Cole yesterday.
Andy, the answer is yes. It's a proper banter. Now, listen. It didn't. What I've watched the goal back probably 4 or 5 times. We've had Sky on downstairs quite a few times, and he doesn't look up. And what really annoys me with the whole setup of this goal is that he's not under any pressure when he turns to pass it back. Yes, he's facing the wrong way. Yes, he's going towards his own corner flag. But the nearest West Ham player to him is about 10 foot away. He could have quite easily turned round and put his foot through the ball and launched it outfield. Instead, he no-looked pass back to Kasper Schmeichel without being aware of his surroundings. Now, for a professional footballer, a Premier League footballer, an international, it's awful to watch. It made part of me felt sorry for him, and if it had been a West Ham player, I'd have been doing me fucking nut. Now, Antonio was superb in that because he decided to go in and cut that avenue off, not knowing that, Sorensen was going to make that pass. He went in there just to obviously give him another thing to think about. And he got lucky. He got lucky because the geezers decided to look that way and I'm going to pass over there. And like, shocking. But Antonio, last season, I could even go first half, Antonio would have tried to have shot. First half, Antonio, last season, Antonio would have gone for goal. I can't praise Antonio enough for holding on to the ball, waiting for other players to get into position. I actually thought he was going to go, I think it was Bowen that was the other side of him. I thought at one point he was going to go there. And he pulls it back, 12 yards out, and Benrahma arrives. Really well taken goal. Obviously, there's a guy on the line. He's placed it into the corner rather than just, putting his head over the ball and absolutely larruping it. At that point, it goes anywhere without the control in the shot. It can hit the player on the line. Another thing that bugged me about the goal from a Leicester point of view is the fact that Schmeichel did not try to get back towards his goal. He kind of stood his ground about 2-3 feet away from Antonio, but about 7 foot, 8 foot away from his goal. I felt he should have backed back towards his goal and given himself more of a chance of being between his sticks, or at least closer to his goal, for when the inevitable shot comes in. Again, great vision from Antonio, great understanding of the game to go and block that route off back to the goalkeeper, not knowing that that's obviously coming. He's taken a chance and obviously got lucky with the pass that's gone there. If Sorensen had looked up, it's not going there. So big mistake, obviously, on Leicester's part there. But again, the vision and the hold-up play from Antonio made the goal. Just a little bit miffed as to why Casper didn't try and get back towards his goal a bit more.
Milesy, your take on it?
It's just determination. It's exactly the same as the first goal. As soon as we get the ball, we just want to, we act dangerous. So yeah, no, definitely for me. I'm over the moon. And Benrahma, very good finish. Benrahma of last season probably may have scuffed that. No disrespect. I think he's just high on confidence. And I was surprised at the back pass, but forgot to add earlier. Obviously, I don't know whether you've noticed, but I've got the safety bars now where I sit, and the away fans have got it as well. So right. I stood up for the whole game because I'm not falling 10 feet down. So
is this
everyone
because
around...
of what they've done with the squaring off behind the goals?
No, I'm not. I'm on the top tier.
Oh, you're in the posh seats. Oh.
No, the top. Well, right behind the goal, and
okay.
Yeah, so they've got the safe standing. So we was up, and I was celebrating already. As soon as he made that pass, I knew Benrahma was getting there first, and the goal went in. But no, I'm happy, and honestly, I still thought Leicester was in the game. I'm not just saying that after. I still think they would have had the chance, and they did.
Yeah, no, they did. We'll come on to that in a moment. Jazz, goal number 2 for the 40-1 man. What was your perspective on it?
Yeah, like I said, we all thought we had a great season last season, but we moved on another 15-20%, and that's things like Geek was saying, clinical finishing, awareness, and just waiting for the right pass, and we're in the right areas. So absolutely perfect what we're doing. So, and Benrahma, obviously, if you remember, he was scuffing a few chances last season when he was coming on, probably trying a bit too hard, and now he's had a good pre-season under him, and David's had more time to plug his thoughts into him, what he wants from him. Because if you look at David Moyes' comments yesterday in the press conference after the game, he gives out a few hints of what he thought about Benrahma last season. He felt he was too much of an individual player, more worried about his own skills and tricks rather than the team. And now he says he's more of a team player, and it's benefited him in the long term. So David's very clear in what type of player he wants before they become regular players for him. And I'm glad that the coaching is doing him so good, and he settled in, and he's a good lad deep down anyway. So yeah, clinical finishing and great awareness, and pretty calm what Antonio did, and waited for the right moment to slip him in, and yeah, found the net. Brilliant.
Yeah. Got to come to you, Chris. What was Soyuncu doing? What was he playing at?
Soyuncu was having a Soyuncu moment. He's Turkish, but he thinks he's Brazilian, and he does things on that back line. And I say it's the way Brendan likes to play. He likes to play out from the back, and rather than just hoofing it up. And I say, and Soyuncu, he does the, and it's good when it comes off, it's good, and it does these turns. But he was just he had a mare last night. He'd had a total mare all game. That just summed it up. But I think the thing is that I would say before that, because obviously this was in the second half, is that when you 1-0 down, when you've got 10 men on the pitch, why don't you make changes at half time?
Yeah.
Our manager he did what Hussenhauser, what I can never pronounce his name, the Southampton manager did in that game again. No changes at all. You're coming back on, you're like, what? Where were the changes? And I'm not saying Soyuncu would have gone off, but we weren't even in the game at that point. There was, at 1-0 down and 10 men, you could see the way we were playing. We were never going to come back at you. But I just hope, I think Soyuncu should get credited with an assist for that goal. I really do. It was, like I say, we've seen him have games like that before. Bournemouth a couple of seasons ago. I don't know what went through his mind. You're a defender. You should know, where players are, what's going on around you. If in doubt, out for a bloody corner. You had 10, you might as well have had 11.
Yeah, no, I watched it, and I think if that had been Craig Dawson, I think we'd have all been going absolutely apoplectic. What are you doing? But obviously we're the beneficiaries. But
we could have done with Antonio's cardboard cutout in defence last night. He might have actually done better than the ones that we had in there.
That's harsh. Probably true, but harsh.
Tough love, mate. Tough love.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll come to the 69th minute though, Chris. We'll stick with you, because obviously we know now it was no more than a consolation. But obviously at the time you get it, and despite the fact you're down to 10 men, you're only one goal back now when Yuri Tielemans finds the net. Did you think at that point that maybe there was a way back into the match, or did you sort of think
yes
that
and
not
no,
really?
because
no.
We'd spoken before the game on the Sunday night about West Ham holding on to Leeds. You've lost that many dogs over the years, West Ham, because you can't hold on to Leeds. And we remember that 3-2 last season. 3-0 up, 2-2. Had we played for another 10-15 minutes, I think it would have possibly been a draw. So that was going through my mind, thinking but even that goal was scrambled in. It was, that was kind of, two poked. And
it wasn't a clear cut, was it? Yeah.
No, it was one of those scrambled goals. So there was a bit of me that thought, well, hang on a second, this is West Ham. We know what you'd said and what we'd seen last season, but deep down, we weren't playing well enough to get back in. And that said, when Brendan Rodgers finally decided he'd grown a pair of balls and decided he needed to make some substitution. He'd made one by then, but make a couple of substitutions. But of course, you scored the third goal first. Had they come on, who knows? But no, we wouldn't have got anything out of the match. We weren't playing well enough.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And obviously, we know that it was no more than a consolation. But same to you, Jazz. Was you a little bit concerned when they got that goal?
Yes, he would be. But again, having said that, Leicester didn't offer much up front, and we kind of have a go at David Moyes in terms of substitutions.
Price has got more up front than we had last night.
Yeah, I'm surprised Rodgers didn't change it early enough. He just didn't do anything, didn't make any substitutions for a long time, and And I know Daka didn't get involved too much, but what you can certainly see is that, he's got movement. He's going to be good for the league. Good player. And 2-1 down. You never know with West Ham, do you? As we know more than anyone. But fortunately, we kept the ball away from our penalty area for most of the game. And again, probably to do with the setup Rodgers had. We just kept attacking in wave after wave. That didn't really see Leicester coming back into it, really. So, if anything, we were just going to get more goals as we did. Yeah.
Yeah. Milesy, was you concerned when Tielemans found the goal?
Yeah, I said that beforehand. Yeah, especially with Daka. I didn't say that, but when I got in, my mum and dad said that he actually shook David Moyes' hand when he come on. I didn't see that on the
Gave him a fist bump, I heard, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where you should have come, son.
No, on all, I was fearing the worst with Daka. I thought, do you know, there's players like even all them years ago when we chose Andy Carroll over Lukaku or something like that, and it's like, is it going to come back and bite us on the arse when a player comes and scores? But in a few years' time, as I said, me and Jazz, we've been fans of Daka for so long, and he was the danger man in my opinion. But no, I was sorry, Chris. How do you pronounce the substitute who come on, the midfielder again? Who come on for you again? Yeah, he looks a good player. Yeah, he looks a good player when I've seen him as well. And I think someone wrote that in the comments. I think if both of them started, I think it may have been a different game.
I think Iheanacho not another one that you were after of ours. Everybody we seem to have bought, you seem to have been after as well.
Yeah, but the problem is with our scouting staff, they go, oh, we should go to him when they're having a medical at yours.
Didn't Moyes like Spurs at the minute?
Fofana we were after, weren't we? I remember.
Yeah, you were after Fofana.
And Maddison.
Moyes turn down Vardy as well?
No, that was Allardyce who turned Vardy down.
Oh, was it Allardyce? Was it?
But no, Maddison. Maddison was the one that got away. That killed me. I wanted Maddison.
We are the club you could have been.
Losing 4-1?
Exactly. Yes.
But if I remember last season, Leicester were playing Iheanacho and Vardy up front together, and it worked really well.
Yeah.
I don't know why Iheanacho hasn't got a look in. I mean, he scored in the Community Shield and really finished the season on a high. But I wouldn't be too happy if I was him.
I love Rodgers to bits, and he's the manager. I want him to stay as long as he can. He's the manager to take us forward. He's won us the FA Cup. He's won us the Community Shield. I just think we could go so far with him. But I do sometimes have to, like you say, question his decisions. We finished on a high last year. I know we lost the last couple of games, but when Jamie Vardy stopped scoring, Iheanacho came on, and due to injuries, he did. We hadn't got Maddison, so he was playing Jamie Vardy and Iheanacho up front, and Iheanacho was scoring for money, and that's the wrong saying, but you know what I mean, for fun. And suddenly this season, no, he doesn't play that way. I don't, because he's bringing Maddison back. I just don't get it. No, I've always been one of, if it's not broken, why fix it?
Yeah, I would have been very wary of him in the team. Yeah, he scored against us last season, and he has a good finisher.
Yeah. Duke, same to you.
Guys,
when Tielemans
have
scored,
to go, I'm afraid.
Oh, all right, mate. We appreciate your time. Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
cheers, buddy.
And
well done.
If you need to return the favour, let us know.
I will do. I'm sure. I'd love to talk about it for the third time.
Take care, Chris.
See you later.
Well done, guys. Mate. Well done. Enjoy being top of the league, mate. And we'll do something in the. We'll see in the Europa League final, but we'll definitely do something for the return leg.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. Take care.
Take care,
Stay in
guys.
touch.
All
Take
the
care.
best. Thanks for having me on.
Bye
Good
now.
luck. Bye-bye.
Good
What a
lad.
lovely guy. Really, really nice guy.
Yeah, really nice guy.
Duke, so Tielemans gets what latterly turned out to be a consolation, but at that point it was 2-1, and we've still at that point got 21 minutes of the match remaining. And obviously we know we had a bit of a propensity last season to take leads and then have other opposition teams coming flying back at us. Were you concerned at any point?
Shit myself. That literally, I was like, oh fuck! Literally, that's what went through my mind. I shit myself. I was like, here we go. It's going to happen, isn't it? And it seemed to be the general consensus with the guys that were watching the game in the pub. Listen, it was a scrappy goal, and it was a scrappy goal. Let's not mess around. That ball could have bounced anywhere in the 3 or 4 times it bounced around that box. It was one of them shit ones. You know, the ball went into the box. Vardy takes a swing at it. Is it Vardy? It's someone takes a swing at it, steps over it, leaves it, whatever it is that he does, and it just falls there. And obviously, like I say, it hits Ogbonna. Does it hit Ogbonna or one of the other guys back there, and bounces straight back at him, like literally lands at his feet. And it's just one of them, like I say, could have bounced anywhere, lands right in front of him. He sticks the ball in the back of the net. And as frustrating as it was, because it really was the only time I ever was worried in the entire game. And they got the goal back, but you know, it didn't matter in the end. But at the time, yes, I shit myself because I thought, here we go again.
Yeah. And then we come with a little bit of history in the club. In the 80th minute, Jazz, I'll come to you first with this one. Michail Antonio, who at that point was the joint leading Premier League goal scorer in our history, broke that record and has outright become our leading goal scorer on the 80th minute. Again, talk me through the goal, and has he now, by doing so, and I'll ask this to the rest of you guys in order, has he now become a West Ham legend?
He has, and for me, for some of my comments last season, I have accepted him as a striker because I didn't for a long while, and I have now. Some of my comments last season were, he's great, but we really need a proper one, because he kept missing. Even though he would get the odd, I felt he was capable. Yeah. But you can see this season, his finishing has improved. And for me, with the stats you just offered, yeah, hands up. I've just accepted he's a striker now, yeah, and a legend, yeah, and a good guy to be around the club, and perhaps a cult hero in the future. That kind of, you know, big personality to have around the ground, as David said. Yeah, so for me, yeah, hands up. We all say a few things we don't agree on, and that was one of them. That I never accepted him. So see you later, mate. So yeah, for me, he's a striker from now on. I won't say anything else. And what I remember about that goal is you don't see Rice running into the penalty area too often, or as far as he did run. And I was interested to see what he's going to do. And similarly to one of the other goals between Benrahma and Antonio, he took his time. He looked up. He waited for the right moment, and he slid it perfectly into Antonio, and he did that magic turn. You know, sometimes we see big international players do that at Europa or World Cup or whatever, and I still think the Turkish lad, he's a half decent defender, but yesterday Antonio completely finished him, and he turned him around, and what a great finish! You know, perfect football from us again, and yeah, excellent. And it took a bit of the pressure off. The fans could enjoy it a bit more without having to worry about only being one goal ahead. And the celebration, I thought he was running towards David Moyes. So David's going like that, and he's gone right past him. then he picked up the card.
We've all had moments like that, haven't we? We've all had moments like that.
I thought he's running towards David, like, I love you, boss, and he completely blanked him.
Who are you?
No, fantastic. Yeah, great. And he's a big character. You need those players around their training ground. You know some of the, what is he dressed up as a clown, or all these things he gets up to, but yeah, he's a good lad. There's a really good podcast, Antonio, if you guys haven't heard it, if you just Google for it. It's all about his life. I think it was done last year. It's about an hour and a half long. It's really interesting. All his life history, where he started in football, all that type of stuff. Yeah, it's really good.
I'll have to look out for that.
He mentions in that podcast he's never gone to the gym and worked out, and he's serious about it. He said, I don't work out. So make that what you will.
I'd like to know what diet he's on then, because I tell you what, maybe I need to try a little bit of it. Unbelievable. Malsey, 80th minute, Michail Antonio goes into the history books. Talk me through it.
I was surprised. I'm not gonna lie. When he come to him, I was like, "What's he doing?" And yeah, it was emotional. It was emotional because the crowd was I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling a bit nervous. 20 minutes to go, like we were saying earlier. Still one goal in it, and it was like a relief when that goal went in. And yeah, I agree with the celebration. I was like, what the fuck's he doing? But like he said, did you hear what they said? I've got to talk about it because he's not been celebrating, has he? Because of VAR, because he celebrated before and it got disallowed. And I went, imagine if that one got disallowed.
Yeah.
Done all that. I've done all that. And that's what he said.
There was a foul in the build-up, Michael. I'm sorry, but you're back to sort of level pegging with Paolo Di Canio.
But no, his movement, his strength, he's just an animal. I believe Kent put it in there at the start. I'm not saying he's that quality, but he's back to play. He does remind me of Drogba now. I'm not saying he's going to ever get to the
stylistically.
Because Lukaku's just different. Lukaku's got the pace and the power and the strength, but he's a lot bigger. But Drogba, I think, was the same thing. So yeah, that's the comparison. But yeah, when that goal went in, it was a party in the London Stadium, and I don't know whether you've seen over the course of the day. I've put a couple of videos what I've recorded, and the Leicester fans weren't happy.
And well, they might not. I mean, if that was us going away to let's have it right. Leicester are a direct competitor with us. They're operating in a similar realm of the Premier League to us on a similar, footing. So to go to your direct competitor's home ground, have a player sent off and ship 4 goals, and manage 1 shot on goal and not a single corner during the entirety of the match. I think they've got a right to feel a little bit. Am I allowed to say pissed off at this time? Well, I've just done it. So
Yeah. Fuck it.
I thought Antonio was going to. I thought Antonio was going to get booked for that celebration. I was thinking that.
Really? Why?
Imagine it. Imagine if he was on a card. Oh yeah, Jazz. Do that all
Jazz.
the time. Yeah, like that.
Maybe he's just been booked by the wife. I don't know.
Dinner's been ready for the last hour, Jazz. Boom.
Ruby the cat's eating it. Butter chicken. Love it. Oh, hang on. He's back. Hang on. I knew he'd be back. Hold on. Here he comes.
Ooh.
Hey!
Yeah, I don't know why it keeps happening. It's been a week like that. It goes up about 2-3 times, doesn't it, while I'm on?
Nah,
but it's a shame that
fun.
Antonio's not good at penalties or free kicks, because that would add a lot more to his tally, even more. So it looks like, maybe it's too late for him to be penalty taken out. I don't know, but it's a shame. Because a lot of
that's the one thing that I still look at and think we haven't, from our first 11. I know we've got Nogues on the bench, and if he comes on, he's on penalty duties. That's fine. That is the one thing that worries me, is when we get a penalty, you're sort of like, well, who's taking it?
I think it's going to be Krezi next time. I think it's his chance now.
Yeah.
I think it's
Or Sochik?
Could be.
No, Krez will smash the shit out of the ball.
It might be Bowen, like you're saying, Gates. He might be Bowen. I don't know.
Could be.
Bowen did take
a number of
Hull.
competitors. Did he? I wonder what his record was like. I'll have to look into that. But anyway, Duke, to you finally. 80th minute. He's in the history books, Michail Antonio. Tell me your thoughts.
He looked like a striker for the goal. I'm not going to lie to you. He looked like the ball came into his feet, the touch, the movement. Again, Soyuncu, I felt was really poor, because rather than staying still would have been a better option. He leant to his right and allowed Antonio to turn and have the room to get a shot away. If it stayed where he was, as Antonio took the ball and turned, he would have been still standing where he was, but he didn't. He leant to the right. Antonio turned and came round to the left, or his right, and Soyuncu's left then, and put the ball in the back of the net. It was a striker's finish. It was a striker's positioning. It was a striker's. He muscled. He held onto the ball. It was brilliant. It was. I was convinced the guy's a striker now, as far as I'm concerned. The second one, which we'll talk about in a minute, but that first one was just an outstanding take. Ball into feet, held off the guy with his power, turned, unleashed a shot that, you know, back of the net, and such a great goal to watch over and over again. It was a proper striker's finish.
I'm gonna slightly go off on a tangent before we speak about that fourth goal for us. Troj, rumours of Nikola Vlasic. Have you guys seen anything about this? I mean, I'll nail my colours to the mast on this one, Troj. I wouldn't be shocked if our interest has been leaked out there and is possibly not what it appears to be, and it's possibly a bit of sabre rattling on the part of Gold and Sullivan to get Manchester United to play ball. I don't know. That's a theory on my part. I've got nothing to back it up with. It's purely my thoughts that they might be just trying to sort of say, oh well, you know, we're looking at this guy instead of Jesse Lingard to maybe sort of make Manchester United sort of go, oh, hang on a minute, maybe we might want to play ball.
Lingard, I want a striker. I want someone that's going to push Antonio the whole way. I've seen. I had News Now up, and obviously they do every 5 minutes a refresh of the new news that's coming out, and it's his name cropped up a few minutes ago, and allegedly in the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we've turned down Edouard from Celtic. We've turned him down. He was offered to us for £20 million, and we've turned around and said no. The latest
he was
one
offered.
Yeah, he was offered to us. West Ham have rejected it. It's sitting here in front of me. The Express journalist Ryan Taylor has written that Celtic offered the French striker to us and we said no. Alongside Alisson Player from Borussia Mönchengladbach and Seville's Luc de Jong, we've turned around and said no to all three of those. It also quotes that we turned down Tammy Abraham. I do believe that was the other way around. And the latest news from that website, just quickly, is that Man United are going to use Jesse Lingard as bait for a swap deal for Mr. Declan Rice.
I would accept that straight swap. Yeah, I would accept that straight swap. I don't know about you boys. Yeah.
And I believe in the Tooth Fairy and unicorns as well.
Yeah, we'll give them another 10 million on top.
Listen, they'll attempt it. They will use that. They will use that in an attempt to sign Deck.
But apparently he's not good enough for Man United fans. He's not good enough. McTominay's the better player.
He's not good enough for any club in this country if you listen to their fans. I was on Twitter earlier. Someone commented, I did a video of Declan Rice. I think West Ham Online made a comment on there as well about someone put, I don't see what all the fuss is about, to which he replied, then you obviously don't know football. If you listen to other fans and you read what's put, no club in England, no fan of a club in England want him. He's too negative.
Even
Chelsea fans don't want him. I've seen that Chelsea fans don't want him. There are some that do. Let's not dick it around. Man United fans, McTominay's better. Newcastle fans, Sean Longstaff, fuck off. Right?
I thought after the Euros, a lot of them had changed their mind.
No. They couldn't understand why he was in the starting 11, some fans said.
He was man of the match in the final till he was taken off. He's the best young player in his position in the world. He walks into any team and bar probably Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and PSG, he probably compliments them. But every other club in the world, he walks into their team and makes them better. Man U, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, he makes them better.
No, I disagree, Duke. Jordan Henderson, McTominay, Matic, Fred, Fernandinho.
You absolute
Ndidi.
Right?
John Obi Mikel.
You are a massive police, right? Police.
Enough respect for Kante, enough respect. He's a good player. He's a good lad.
Kante. Anyway, that was just a brief diversion, people. So back on track, 84 minutes. No,
I just have one more thing on that. Just one more.
All right, sorry.
Duke, did you see on Sky yesterday? Gary Neville said he placed a 50 to 60 million on Rice maximum.
Oh, yeah.
No more than that. Yeah.
Gary
and then Carragher's looking at him. Carragher's like, they're going to kill you, the West Ham fan. He just kept quiet.
Listen, Neville's a prick.
Oh, unbelievable.
Listen, he's a prick. He's a
Have you
prick.
seen
He's
his
the same
stream
way
with us?
Anton Ferdinand, as the same as Anton Ferdinand is a Rio Ferdinand. Sorry, Anton. Rio Ferdinand is also a prick with the way that he keeps trying to use his position on telly to get Declan to go to Man United. Listen, we sat down here and we worked it out. Declan Rice, pardon me, over 3 seasons with the Tom, stop it. Over 3 seasons, Declan Rice is worth to us in positional finishes and cup runs £30 million a season. He's got 3 years left on his contract. That's 90 million. Declan Rice is worth with a full thing. So then that's 120 million, Jazz. So therefore, if someone wants to buy Declan Rice, that's what he's going to earn us over the next 4 years of his contract. That's what it's going to cost for you to buy him. Job done. Take your comments, like United fans, Chelsea fans. Take your comments. Shut the fuck up. If you're going to either stump up the money or piss off, it's that simple.
It's a future captain of England. Future captain, seriously. And what price do you put on a player? And being UK born British, there's a premium on players like that because the way the squad
120 million quid. If you ain't going to stump up that money, stop talking about him and fuck off.
Yeah,
sorry.
Get a heavy sell-on clause in there as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I see that just before we go on to the fourth and final goal, Jordan Rice is 80 million minimum. Well, if you believe the quote that I've seen attributed to David Moyes, as far as he's concerned, he's much more. But I appreciate that it's not Moyes that ultimately is going to set the price that he's going to go for. It's going to be David Sullivan or whoever's in charge of the club at the time.
Does anyone know why or if these contract extensions have not been carried on, accepted or agreed between Rice and the club? Well, maybe there's been no discussion. It's just complete crap. I don't know, but is there any reason?
But Jazz, at the end of the day, that's what everyone keeps saying. He's got 3 years with the. I think if he plays a certain amount of games, he auto renews to 4. So, like,
well, it's going to then, isn't it?
His agent's going to want to put a clause in it. That's the issue, which he hasn't got at the moment. I think that's the issue. So he wants double his money and clause in there.
I think the reason, just to come on to Tom's one here, just real quick, if I may. Why can Villa be justified in charging 100 million for Grealish if we can't for Rice? I think the answer is real simple, because Grealish is an attacking player, whereas Declan Rice is seen to be a defensive player, and generally there's a premium for forward players. I think that's probably the reason.
I think there's a shortage of CDMs in the world, so I'll put more premium perhaps on.
Yeah, but they don't tend to go for as much money. More defensive players. I mean, sort of like when you see a lot of the sort of transfer records that are being set, in world football, European football, British football, they generally tend to be attacking players, don't they, rather than defensive players or even goalkeepers.
But another thing is, Rice, touch wood, is not injury prone at all. And you look at Grealish's record, you got to look at that as well. And he's very young. He's built like an ox, and everything's in Rice's favour. So yeah.
What the fuck? Sorry.
Back onto
Real Madrid
the
have accepted a £160 million bid for Mbappe.
From
How
who?
the fuck have they got that money?
From who?
No,
Spanish
Real Madrid
government.
have had one.
Spanish
Because he bought a house in Madrid 3 weeks ago, didn't he? I had a feeling Liverpool was sniffing around because they've been quiet in the window. But
I
thought him buying the house was a bit of banter.
Steady.
But how can they afford 160? This just proves how much shit owners we've got.
They're waiting
Tottenham,
for
Tottenham, Real Madrid are virtually bankrupt, and they're just paying 160 million pound for Mbappe.
Yeah, they got 30 for Odegaard, but that's not much towards that. But
No, that's a Spanish government. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so goal number 4, 84 minutes in, and we put the icing on the cake of a game that was probably already dead and buried at that point, with all due respect to Leicester City. Jazz, Michail Antonio goes further ahead of Paolo Di Canio in the pecking order.
It's just that on the night and even his form, everything was just going his way, isn't it? And I think Kufal got the assist. And that touch, if I remember, that first touch is really good. And then he guided it past Schmeichel into the corner, didn't he? So I think his anticipation and touch and then following shot. It's just, for someone that big and heavy and muscly to move like that, like a predator like Tony Cottee was amazing to see. Like, because his swift, quick movements, what he does, and I don't know, has Nolan helped him even more over the summer? Or he's just getting better and better on it. Or every single player. It's just really good to see, and yeah. I mean, you could have got a hat trick, but we're just being greedy now. But yeah, that's great finish of the night, and we all wanted number 5, didn't we? But what that goal meant was that we had gone top of the table on goal difference, and I looked on one of the websites, and I showed it to everyone around me, and it is a nice moment. So that goal meant we went top of the league, really. So yeah, good.
Milesy, over to you.
Yeah, I managed to get that on video, the 4th goal, and
yes,
it was party time. What I loved as well was that just proved was, like you said, Jazz, interacting with the fans and stuff like that. And I put a picture up as well. It was Fornals. I think it was actually for the Fornals, Benrahma, and Antonio. All the passion what they showed and what it meant to them. And then you got Declan Rice, John. Like, the togetherness is just ridiculous, and yeah, the finish was just.
Well, I left the ground. I left the ground 11 at night, and there was still singing going on around the ground. People were still there, you know. So I think the last lot must have left at 11:30. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. All the singing was still going on when I left as well. So, Duke, same to you. 4th goal for West Ham. Michael Antonio 2nd. What was your take?
I thought it was going to be disallowed.
Really?
I thought it was going to be disallowed for because if you watch back, he actually makes contact with the ball as Schmeichel's coming out, and the defender's coming in. He actually makes contact with the ball with his studs. So his studs are up and his studs are showing when he obviously reaches out with his foot, kind of stamps in a way, kind of stamps at the ball with his studs up. And at one point, I actually thought the referee was going to disallow it. I actually thought VAR may well take a look at it and could have disallowed it. They obviously didn't, and I was over the moon with that. But I actually thought for a short second there that there's a chance this could be disallowed. Again, ball into the box was superb. If I remember rightly, Soufal with the ball into the box, or was it Bowen out there?
Soufal assist.
Great
assist. Yeah.
Was it Soufal? Great ball into the box. But the touch with his back to goal was brilliant. Absolutely outstanding. And again, he's obviously done a lot of work on this over the summer, where, you know, he's positioning in the box, because he looks, again, like I said on the last goal, looks like a striker now. Not bad for a guy that started out at right back, who signed from Forest for an undisclosed fee, you know, all them years ago. He looks like a striker. He's strong in that box. He held off the challenge again from Soyuncu to be able to turn. And as that ball dropped, there was only one outcome. My only concern was, like I say, he lifted his studs up to knock the ball in with the bottom of his foot, which, you know, could have been disallowed. But no, outstanding. And honestly, I remember this being the guy that was playing right wing back or right back and was taken off after about 20 minutes against Chelsea. And he's probably been shot to shit. But right, I can see you all flashing on and off. Can you hear me still? Yeah. No, I'm still
here.
You cut out there. I think you went through the tunnel.
Yeah, no. As I was saying, you know, I thought his career could have been over at West Ham due to the fact that he was taken off after that Chelsea game. You know, taken off after about 20 minutes. It seemed like his confidence was shot to shit. And here we are, a couple of years later, a few years down the line. He's West Ham's top Premier League goal scorer. And honestly, for one, I couldn't be happier for him. Me personally,
Duke, I reckon he missed a whole season once. Yeah, he missed a whole season once. He was really missing so many games, you know, a couple of years ago. He's worked hard.
He's worked hard to come back. He's worked hard to put all of that bullshit behind him. You know, the lack of belief in him at times could be said by previous managers. He's come in now, and here we are. He's got that record. And there is absolutely no reason that by the end of this season, he can't be 20, 30 games clear, 30 goals clear of this record. He could quite easily, if he stays fit and plays like that, he could quite easily hit 25, 30 goals this season. He could quite easily be in the running for the Golden Boot at the end of the season if he continues to play like this. And no one at our club deserves it more for the persistence and the improvement and everything else that he's done. He deserves all the plaudits right now because he's come such a long way from the guy that played right back when he first joined us. So I couldn't be happier for him, and I really hope he continues this form this season and he ends up taking that Golden Boot by the end of the season.
Yeah, I know a few people who know him personally, and he's quite a down-to-earth, friendly guy.
Oh, he's a total knobhead. He's a total knobhead. He crashed his Lamborghini at Christmas dressed as a Foxy Snowman, didn't he? Fucking idiot. I'd love to go out. Listen, I'd love to go out on the piss with him. I really would, because I can imagine he's an absolute character. He's an absolute knobhead, but he's a lad that he obviously enjoys his football. He's enjoying his time at West Ham. I'd love to think that, you know what, he'll see out the rest of his career with us like Nobes is going to. I don't want to see, honest to God, I don't want to see him go elsewhere and put on another shirt. He's one of those players that I don't want to go see put on another shirt for another club. In much the same way that it hurt me to see Carrick put on another shirt. It hurt me to see Joe Cole put on another shirt. Antonio for me is one of those players. I don't want to see him in a kit of another team. I really don't.
I got a feeling he was a Sullivan signing and Billichton won him, if I remember. I don't think, Billichton playing for ages and the crowd was getting a bit peed off with him. I know we kept winning during that time, but it took him a while to get into the team. But I got a feeling Sullivan brought him in as a present.
One of them.
He has a habit of doing them. Okay, we're not going to do player ratings because I think that's probably just going to take too long. We've already been going for nearly 2 hours.
2 hours.
So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll just go straight to it. Man of the match. Jazz, talk to me.
Let's go for Ben Rama for me. Yeah, let's go for Ben Rama.
Yeah.
Reason?
Just always wants the ball, assist, goal. Yeah, it just excites me. It's just like, I know I've got a lot of respect for Rice and Souček and the hard workers, but as a West Ham fan, I've got a soft spot for skillful players, So perhaps that's why, like the Alan Devonshires and the tricky players. He's a West Ham player and he's a classy player. So purely for that, but there could have been 2, 3, 4 other nominations easily. So yeah, definitely. Just for me, Ben Rama. Yeah.
Milesy, your man of the match?
Pablo Fornals, me.
Ooh. Almost had his legs split in half, but he did have a great performance.
I've always been a fan of his. I always have been, and I'm just so happy that I get to, because before COVID, we didn't really see the best of Pablo Fornals. We saw drips and drabs, and when you see it on the telly, you actually see more of him. But at the games, the last 2, I know Jazz will probably back me up on this, even on Newcastle, just watching what he does off the ball. And the one thing is, what people probably don't notice, he shouts, he points, he does stuff like that as well, which you don't really notice. And he took his goal well. I love him. I love his passion, the way he speaks about the club as well. So just an all-round performance for me.
I think he's David Moyes' favourite player from what he was mentioning yesterday. He said he's a lovely kid to teach, absolutely got so much time for him. And he, again, probably goes under the radar too often, but he's a Jeff Pike hard worker. And he's added goals to his game, which we all wanted, isn't it? So,
yeah.
1 goal, 1 assist so far, Jazz.
Yeah. So well done, Pellegrini, for signing him.
Even a stopped clock is right twice a day, Jazz. Remember that.
A what clock?
A stopped clock is right twice a day.
Oh, sorry, Gatesy. I thought you said something else.
No, it's your filthy mind. It's your filthy mind. Dragging us back down into the gutter.
You do what?
Duke, man of the match and reasons. What we got?
Exactly the same as Andy. Pablo Fornals for me. the guy was so underrated last season by a lot of our fans. It's the cliche, covered every blade of grass, but he does. He works harder. If I'm honest, I think he works harder than any other player in our team for 90 minutes consistently. He's everywhere. We spoke about it numerous times last season. He does the hard graft. He does the dirty work. He helps Cresswell. Obviously, if you watched when I think it was Vardy outstripped Cresswell after giving him about 4 yards, and still ended up 3 yards away from him as he raced down the side of the pitch. But Fornells does that dirty work, and I cannot speak highly enough of this guy. Don is the fella that was the goal creator and goal getter for that Spanish side when we brought him in. He is now a hard-working, grafting type player, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Moyes use him in a Rice Souček kind of position, maybe in Europe, to give one of those two boys a rest. Alongside even a Lanzini. We saw Lanzini do it against Burnley last year. Last season. So, no, listen, I thought Fornells was brilliant. He was involved in breaking up play. He was involved in, beginning the breakaways and the part, his passes were on point. He got himself the goal and honestly, outstanding player, absolutely outstanding player and deserves everything that he's now, he's worked hard and he's now going to reap the rewards from it.
Yeah, I mean, my man of the match. There's so many that I could mention. I'd probably take Fabianski to one side, not because he had a bad game, but simply he had nothing to do. He's probably the one player that I would say I couldn't make a case for being in a contention for being man of the match. But Kufal, ridiculous. I mean, he was so solid defensively and getting forward offensively. I mean, Milesy, you put the stat up, and I saw it earlier when I put it all together, the amount of crosses that we were putting in. I'd love to know how many of them were from Kufal. He just seemed to be putting them in on a regular basis.
He doesn't. Sorry to interrupt, when he runs, he don't look like he's going to... He has no run-up, does he? Or backlift. He just wraps his foot around it and all of a sudden it's in the box, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
On this day, Mark Noble, 17 years ago, on this day, Mark Noble made his first team debut.
Southend, wasn't it?
17 years ago.
Southend on mud.
Retire the shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not starting that again.
Kufal was a man of the match contender for me. Bowen was a man of the match contender for me. Ben Rama, Fornells. I'm going to give it to Antonio, probably purely for sentimental reasons. He slightly nudges the other lads out of the way, scoring 2 goals and going clear of Di Canio, breaking the record. 2 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists. I just keep my fingers crossed that his hamstrings can stay sort of together.
That sounds so familiar. I don't know where I'd heard something like that before. Yeah,
no idea.
I heard that a lot last season.
Did you? Okay. I'll have to wind back and watch some of the archive footage.
Just get me big bowl out and me wooden spoon.
You shit stirring bastard, really.
Thank you.
Yeah. As a cat,
we're all weak.
With pleasure. But no, as I say, it might be purely for sentimental reasons, and maybe it is, but fuck it. Why not? It's
everyone's entitled to have an opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go Antonio. Like I say, he created a little bit of club history, and I mean he's possibly elevated himself to legend status at the club. I would suggest he has, because as I say, in terms of goal scoring in the Premier League, there's no one ahead of him. So if he's not a club legend, I'm not saying he's a footballing legend. That's different. Footballing legends, we're talking about Bobby Moore and people like that, Jeff Hurst. That's footballing legends. Mikel Antonio's not on that level, but he's certainly a club legend in my opinion.
What is he on? 47, 48? What is it?
What's that?
49.
How many goals
49
has
Premier
Antonio
League
got?
goals.
Oh right, yeah.
49.
But he's got like 51, I think, or 50.
And the Premier
scored in
League's been around since what? 95, is it? 96?
Yeah.
When was it?
92.
93. Bloody
Can
hell!
I just?
Pretty poor return, isn't it, for West Ham forward since that time?
Yeah, but we've had about 417.
Yeah.
So it's like they've played about 12 games each. To be fair.
Yeah.
Can I just quickly touch on something, Gacy? While just before we wrap
Is it your
up?
balls?
No. Well. I wanted to. I've just attached it. This really gets my fucking goat, right? This headline in the Metro. This was the Metro newspaper, and this really has pissed me off.
It's a London newspaper as well. We should point out.
Yeah.
And it's really pissed me off. Like, we were outstanding last night. Let's take nothing away from how we played. We're going to be slightly biased. We're West Ham fans.
Yeah.
But that's bullshit, what I'm looking at on the screen right there. That is absolute bullshit. No, Leicester weren't great. But let's give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, it should be
We were
Super
outstanding
Hammers or
last night. Yeah,
it should be like
something
Leicester
regarding
Hammers.
West Ham in there. And
Leicester
and
get
just
hammering.
like that's media bias for us as far as I'm concerned.
And that's from a London newspaper.
Yeah, you know, and it's I'm reading it. I'm reading just an article
I'm surprised that weren't a Daily Sport.
You know, there are so many positives that they could have put about West Ham in there that they've gone with the fact that it was Leicester that was shit, not that we were great. And I just think that's just
and really, it's the same, Duke. Really they'll probably be the same when we beat Chelsea or we beat Man United. If we beat them this season, it'd be like, yeah, they had an off day.
They had an off game. Yeah. And you know, give credit where it's due, for Christ's sake.
Listen, but I'll accept that if we
played shit and scraped a 1-0 win.
Yeah, I'd accept that, Andy. If that's the case, I'd accept that. But it's not. It isn't anything like that, is it? It's
it's 4-1. It's not 2-1 or 1-0.
Yeah, we haven't scraped anything. We haven't scraped that win. We battered them, and we deserved the win. And
it wasn't a debatable red card either. It's not. No, it wasn't like, oh well, it was a borderline red, and Leicester were unlucky with a sending off, and that changed the game. We was bossing them before they got the red. The red was completely deserved, and the rest took care of itself. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think, especially for a London newspaper, that's really disappointing that they put the emphasis on Leicester being poor rather than the emphasis on West Ham actually being that good.
Mm-hmm. It's just come out that we're in talks now. We've gone with an official offer for. Let me get his. Where's he gone? Shit.
Is that Gaëtan Laborde?
Is it that one? No, another guy in France. Jonathan Bamba.
Jonathan Bamba.
Yeah, it looks like we're pressing ahead with a 25. I mean, listen, I don't believe all this shit that I'm reading because listen, we're linked with about 32 players a day, and it's embarrassing at times. It's embarrassing, but apparently we've offered 25, or we're ready to offer 25 million. If we can get Zuma and we can get Bamba in, or another striker somewhere along them lines, no disrespect, I don't want Jesse Lingard now. He made the prick made his point clear when he went back to United. If he wanted to come, he would have come already. Leave him up there, let him rot. Ben Rama's come on tenfold without him being there. He's got the game time, deserves to be playing. I want a striker, and if it's Bamba, let's go. I'd be happy with Bamba and Zuma before Tuesday morning.
What's your thoughts on that?
Which is
live from the ball.
Was that sorry?
What would be your thoughts on that, Jazz? If we got Zuma and Bamba over the line before the window shut, would you be happy?
I wanted different. I wanted Daka and Milenkovic, but that's just me. Zuma's got a few things he needs to sort out in his defending, but I think we've got the coaching staff to improve him. I just need to get familiar with Zuma's game. I mean, is he pacey? I've just forgotten. I know he's a big old thing, and he does get the odd goal.
He's got a bit of pace about him.
Yeah, he's got a big frame to him. I just
hope.
Yeah, and then Bamber, I don't know anything about, so I'm going to have to do a bit of YouTube on him this evening. I think have a look at that.
Same.
But like Duke said, you just can't keep up with the strikers we're linked with. You know, it's 3 every day. You know, names that we're not sure who they are, and we lost Armstrong, we lost Daka.
Armstrong for me is hurting now.
Yeah,
when I've seen his performance, even what he played against Man United the other day, that's really hurt me. Hurt me.
Yeah, he's rapid, isn't he? But we'll see. Hopefully, we'll end up. I don't want 2. We need 4. So if we can get 2, like quite cheap or loan to per, because don't forget Barclay and what's those Chelsea lads? They're still available on loan. So hopefully 2 perms and 2 loans, 4 players. Yeah, that'll be okay. Because don't forget the next window is what, January. So 3 months you can bide with 4 coming in, and then have a look again in January, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, before we wrap it up, there's 2 things I'm gonna sort of bring your attention to, dear viewer. One of them you long-time listeners are going to know what I'm going to mention, but this one's a little bit of a curveball, if you will. Gonzo of Hammers Chat, he's got another channel to do with pinball, and he's trying to get up to 1,000 subs. So I thought we'd try and help him along the way. So if anybody that's watching at this point, even if you're not into pinball, and even if you don't really give a monkeys about it, do us a favour, go onto his YouTube channel, put it in the search bar, Gonzo's Pinball Flipperama, and just click subscribe. If you never watch a stream, he's even said it himself, he's not sort of like overly concerned if you do or if you don't. If you do, fantastic, but just click subscribe. It would help him out tremendously. He needs to get to 1,000 subs, and that would be really much appreciated. I will put this in, it isn't there at the minute, but I will put that link in the description on Facebook and YouTube. You can just go onto the search bar, put in Gonzo's Pinball Flipperama, and let's see if we can help get him up to 1,000 subs before we're very much older. So that's part 1. We know what part 2 is. Young Isla Caton needs our help. Right there, and again, this is presently in the description below on YouTube and Facebook, so you can copy and paste it, put it on your social media platforms, get it out there. This little girl needs our help, and she needs it like 5 minutes ago. Get it onto your social media platforms with a little note as to what it's all about. Because this little girl, she needs the treatment to save her life, and it's not available in this country. So they got to pay for not just the treatment, the flights, the accommodation, the bills in the UK are still going to come piling in whilst they're dealing with trying to save their daughter's life. So guys, they need our help. If you can put anything in the pot yourself, that's fantastic. But at the very least, we need you to put it onto your social media platforms and get the awareness out there and try and keep the momentum going to save a little girl's life who is a West Ham family. So, we like to pride ourselves that, we are not a club, we are family. We can fall out and we can disagree and we can argue, but we all come together when times are tough. This family are in a really bad place right now, so let's come together and let's help them out. Thank you very much indeed for listening.
That was a quick review.
Yeah, it was only 2 hours and 13 minutes and counting.
I don't know about you boys, but my fucking belly's grumbling.
Yeah, same.
I am peckish.
Hold on, Tom's just put. Is he a deaf, dumb, and blind kid? No, it's Gonzo. No, he's not deaf, dumb, and blind. Well, at least he doesn't come across that way on his streams.
So this time next week, people, I sort of mentioned it when Casey said it. From 8 a.m. next Tuesday all the way until the transfer window shuts, we are going to be live and we're going to be raising money for Isla. So if anyone could just share it out, we'll come up in the next couple of days with a banner and try and get this shared out as much as we can. And we're definitely going to enjoy it. All of our ties have arrived, and looking forward to the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got my yellow tie. I'll be working that day for any of you that will be tuning in.
So you're going to be wearing your uniform and your yellow tie all day?
No. I'm going to once I've finished work, I'm going to go home, quick shower, and then I'll get changed. And because are you doing it from the pub, or is that still how it's going to roll? So I might even join you.
Yeah.
Happy days.
We've got to send West Ham Online to the training ground then with his mic.
He'll be there with his
Oh, that'd
microphone
be great, wouldn't it?
for
That'd
sort of
be
like see
amazing.
if he can see David
literally
Moyes
though,
coming out in his Land Rover.
thinking about it, if you want me to, I'll go there in the morning and do a recording.
With a dildo.
It's literally 2 minutes from my house, the training
Yeah.
ground.
I know, Tom. I
No,
know. I was
you-
being facetious.
You should probably stay there. I don't know how long your battery would last, but maybe they're like, yes, do a couple
What,
of
in my
hours.
car? Just sit there in my car all day.
See if you can get someone to talk.
Live
No,
on Rush Green.
mate, that'd be amazing. You'll be standing there next to people from Sky Sports, and then just got some random bloke from Fultram Iron, just like, oh, so who you with? I'm Sky Sports. Who you with? Oh, I'm from ITN News. Who you with? BBC. Who you with? Fultram Iron. What the fuck? You just see it happening, can't you?
No. But the worst bit is, Duke. The worst bit what will happen is I'll be there and he'll be at the fucking stadium. That's where all the players will be going having the fucking talks.
Gatesy, I'm gonna go with Mikey. Mike, get in the car. Mike.
Top banter.
A meal deals, yeah.
Clayton, don't start. Okay, right. I'm going to hit end broadcast, guys. Thanks to everyone that's joined us, and obviously we lost West Ham Online to a five-a-side match, and Chris as well from Leicester Till I Die.
Sounds like he's dead.
Not dead. He's very much. He's playing football. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Milesy, what are we, please?
We are top of the league, so we are top of the league.
We
are top, and we are fucking massive.
It doesn't get much bigger than that, does it, when you're top of the league?
Yeah,
it's just banter. It's just top banter, lads.
Stop it.
I was reading the comment. Look, I was reading the comment.
That's what I was.
Top banter.
That's what I said.
Why do you have to sound like Farmer Giles when you're doing it?
David Moyes might win his Manager of the Month award.
You sound like a cross between Farmer Giles and Long John Silver. It's really bad. And for the rest of us,
why are pirates so horrible? Because I
apologise for the children's behaviour. From the rest of us,
says him that goes around doing Zippy impressions. And
yeah.
And I'm
Scooby-Doo.
I haven't done it for a few weeks. Right, okay, we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks for coming, everyone. Stay safe. Come on, you Irons, and we are top of the league.
Come on, you Irons.
Arr.